the investigators a hard time. It has been 72 hours since the blast took place last Friday at around 12:55 p.m. in one of Bengaluru's most happening eatery, the Rameshwaram Cafe in Brookfield. Bengaluru Police, the CCB, along with the NI and NSG are on the case trying to zero in on the accused. Ministry of Home Affairs has also issued directives to the NI to take over the probe, after which the Central Probe Agency registered a case under UAPA in Bengaluru. The probe agencies are now exploring various angles and are carrying out searches across 3 states, that is Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu.
ಪದೇ ಪದೇ ನಾವು ಇದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳೋದು ಅಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಕಾಣೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ನಿನ್ನೆನೇ ಬ್ರೀಫ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದಿ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ವಿಷಯಗಳನ್ನು ನಮಗೆ ಏನು ಸಾರ್ವಜನಿಕ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ಅಷ್ಟನ್ನೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಕೆಲವು ವಿಷಯ ಹೇಳೋಕ್ಕಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟಿಗೇಷನ್ ನಡೀತಾ ಇರುವಾಗ ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಹಂಚ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕ್ಕಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ.
NIA ಬಂದಿದೆ ಸರ್,
NIA ಅವತ್ತಿಂದನೇ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ.
NIA ಅವರೇನೋ ಸ್ವಯಂ ಪ್ರೇರಿತವಾಗಿ ದೂರು
ದಾಖಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಅವರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವರು NSGನವ್ರು ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, NIAನವ್ರು ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವರು ಕೂಡ ಇದನ್ನು ತನಿಖೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಅವ್ರು ಯಾರೇ ಮಾಡಲಿ, ಒಟ್ಟಾರೆ ಮೂಲ ಉದ್ದೇಶ ಏನು ಅದನ್ನು ಕಂಡುಹಿಡಿಬೇಕು. ಯಾರು ಆ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ, ಯಾರು ಅವ್ರ ಹಿಂದೆ ಯಾರಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಸಂಘಟನೆಗಳಿದ್ದಾವ ಅಥವಾ ವೈಯಕ್ತಿಕವಾಗಿ ಅವ್ರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರಾ, ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಅವರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ನಾವು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ.
Deepak is joining us with more details now. Deepak, multiple agencies now chasing the culprit who can be seen in the CCTV footage but yet to be identified.
Well, that seems to be the biggest concern here, Swati, considering the fact that this man has been so meticulous. He's seen, of course, in the CCTV footage walking around. Now, the cops even suspect that he was wearing gloves to leave no fingerprints. He was wearing a mask to cover his face. He was wearing a cap. And, he was using a cell phone in what looks like, at least in the CCTV, but, the network towers nearby haven't really caught, anything unusual. So these are some of the challenges. And more importantly, he's also, boarded a bus, got off the bus. There is, of course, CCTV available of that. But even while he is in the bus, he's covered his face. And after a certain point of about 1 to 2 kilometers, they're not able to really trace him in any of the CCTVs. It does show that, of course, he could have been highly trained at this point in time. Various angles being looked into. The agencies at this point in time who are working together, the crime branch up until now formally hasn't handed over the case. The NI, of course, has registered an FIR, and eventually in the next 24 to 48 hours the case will be with them. They will be the lead investigative agency, but right now it's a combined consolidated effort. Every angle is being looked into because as of now the leads are very minimal. Now, considering that some of the parts used in the ID were similar to the Bengaluru blast, they're also going to really look at who are the people who are still missing in that. Somebody named Colonel, who's a handler to Maz Munir, to Yasin, to Sharik, all of these individuals who are in the Shimoga blast and the Bengaluru blast, they're trying to see whether there has been any activity from his end on like encrypted messaging portals like Wicker, Telegram, and even the dark web. So all of this is being probed at this point in time. They're not leaving any stone unturned, but it definitely looks like this individual was highly trained. He also had a 1-hour heads up because there was a timer set for about an hour. He leaves from the restaurant and it was only after an hour that the blast takes place. It takes about half an hour for fire officials to come in.
Multiple clips of the CCTV help connect the dots, Deepak, but what we're given to understand is that the ambit of the probe also has been widened. The cops and other agencies looking at past cases as well of terror attacks and individuals who have been named terror suspects.
Yes, like I was mentioning, the colonel who's been a handler in the Shimoga trial blast case, in the Bengaluru blast case. There's also another individual who's absconding named Abdul Tahamatin. They're trying to look at any movement from these individuals, whether there's been any chatter on the dark web or on any other encrypted portals. They're also here, there are a number of people who will be on the radar of the Intelligence Bureau, RAW, especially in such instances. Those kind of individuals, they are activating, a monitoring network on them to see if they pick up any sort of chatter in this connection. So all aspects are being looked into. The police initially were very hopeful that they'll be able to trace him considering the number of CCTV cameras that were available. But at this point in time, it looks like, he has pre-planned this. He knew what he was doing, making the job of the agencies a little more difficult.
Absolutely. Deepak, stay on with us. Let's break down these details with the help of the CCTV clips that have come to fore. Now, so far, the agencies have gotten their hands on various CCTV clippings that we are playing out here on the big screen for you, in which the accused can be spotted. Let's also tell our viewers about the timeline. Now, in these CCTV clips, you can see the bomber getting out of the bus, which is CCTV footage number 1. Here you can see the bomber coming out of the bus. Let's move on. Let's show you in CCTV footage too. This is the second CCTV clip in which the bomber can be seen walking on the road. Moving on now to CCTV number 3, which is very important as far as the timing of all of it is concerned. He made his way into the cafe at 11:35 a.m. In this particular CCTV footage, you can see the bomber walking inside the cafe. He then places an order for Rava Idli. In this particular footage, you can see him holding a plate of Rava Idli. And about 11:42, he then went to the wash basin, walks towards the wash basin to wash his hands. And at 11:44, according to reports coming in, he left the bag near the tree and he leaves from the spot, which is you can see in this particular footage. CCTV number 5, the bomber steps out of the cafe. Now, once he steps outside the cafe, we're given to understand that almost an hour later, the bag exploded, which left 9 people injured and also destroyed one part of the cafe. In the aftermath, the FSL recovered various parts of the explosive that was placed inside the cafe at the wash basin. Forensics team has also recovered material crucial to connect the dots in the case. Batteries, circuit board and a timer have been recovered. And what we know so far about the bomber and the case is that the age of the accused is between 28 to 30 years and the blast could be an act of terror. The blast could be an act of terror. That's what the agencies are saying. The bomber can be seen in the CCTV, but he has not so far been identified. His identity has not been established, for which a manhunt is currently underway. And remember, multiple agencies now probing this case. And according to the reports coming in, and we updated you about it, the MHA has handed over the probe to NI. UAPA sections have also been invoked. So the NI is also now looking into this angle. The ID we given to understand was assembled by experienced person. Nuts and bolts were used for greater impact, and now the probe agencies are probing the involvement of banned outfits as well. The terror cases that have been reported or terror attacks that have taken place are also being looked at by the agency. The ambit of the probe is being widened. What has the FSL recovered? The FSL has recovered a timer, they have recovered batteries, and they have also recovered other material which is very crucial. Circuit board is one of the material that has been recovered in the aftermath of the blast from the cafe, from the portion where the blast took place, which was damaged, and 9 people were injured. Now, speaking about banned terror outfits, since UAPA has been invoked, NI is now looking into past terror cases. Reason being the similarities in explosive that have been used in the Bengaluru cooker blast and the Bengaluru cafe blast. Material used are alike, that's what we're given to understand. Conspirators of Bengaluru blast are also on the radar. Past cases are also being looked into. The ambit of the probe is being widened because of the similarities between the Bengaluru cooker blast and the Bengaluru cafe blast. Who are the individuals who are on the radar of the agencies? Tehel Mateen, Mudassir and Colonel are being searched for across 3 states to establish any possible connection with the cafe blast. So a search is on by the agencies for these individuals, Tehel, Mateen, Mudassir and Colonel, and the agencies are trying to establish whether or not there is any connection between these individuals and the blast that took place. He has been operating through encrypted chats. This is what is being said about the individuals who are currently on the radar of the agency. This is what we're picking up about Colonel. He is Colonel, the individual who was connecting through encrypted chats. And we have Bhavtosh joining us on the broadcast now with more details. Bhavtosh, all this information, of course, coming in as the investigation proceeds. These are individuals who are on the radar of the agency. So not just, looking at the one who was caught on CCTV, but whether or not he's connected to other terror outfits, whether or not he's connected to the terror suspects who've been involved in the past. Everything is being interrogated, everything is being examined by the agencies.
Yes, Swati, in fact, adding to what Deepak has said, there was an issue or a magazine that was published by ISKP. It's a propaganda magazine of ISKP. It's called Voice of Khorasan, and they, in March 2023, had in fact owned up two attacks. They had owned up two attacks, which were Coimbatore blast of October 2022 and also the Bengaluru failed terror attack of November 2022. Now, they had said that there was an attempt by SKP to establish its base, and by claiming that these attacks are handiwork of ISKP, this was first attempt by ISIS or ISKP, which is the same module. They wanted to establish base. Now, there have been series of attacks by ISIS and also by Lashkar-e-Toiba to establish base, and it's very important that in all these attacks, IDs have been seized. The material that have been used by them have all been the very similar materials have been seized. Now, Coimbatore attack that took place, the Jamshed Mobin, was inspired by Zahran Hashmi. Now, Zahran Hashmi was an ideologue who inspired terrorists in Colombo, who in fact went ahead and carried out the Easter bombing in which 250 people died. Now, Jamshed Mobin was someone who in fact left a display picture on his WhatsApp group in which he said that he wanted to carry out an attack which was in fact a spectacular attack. Now, all these attacks, whether it's a Coimbatore terror attack or the Bangalore attack or Bangalore terror attack or any of these attacks, they all in fact the telltale signs are very similar, and that's how the agencies are looking, that these attacks or these failed terror attacks all follow the same pattern and trend, that that materials that have been seized or materials that are being procured are being procured online from the shopping sites, and very easy to assemble these material, and they have all been used. Same kind of timer have been used. Now, importantly, the ISIS module, the Ballari module, the ID that was seized was very similar to the one that was used in Bengaluru.
Absolutely. The similarities are in fact striking, and that's why the agency is looking at the past terror cases as well and terror suspects also under the radar of the agencies. Deepak and Bhavtosh, for the moment, thank you for getting us the details. We'll connect with you again for more inputs. With that, we're slipping into a short break. News and updates will continue.